Hello, welcome back to another video. In this session, we'll discuss about how you can validate the data output in the data migration. So the title of this particular session would be step-by-step data migration process with focus on validating the data output. We'll discuss this topic with a diagram and I'll explain each and every boxes or each and every points that you have to follow in case of data migration. Migrating data to a modern ERP system like Microsoft Dynamics 365 Finance and Operation requires a careful planned approach. The success of migration is not just about the transferring data, it's about ensuring the data is accurate, it's complete and meaningful in its new environment. One of the most important essential practice in this process is validating the data output early and consistently. In this session, we'll talk and we'll walk you through the full data migration path and show you how to validate data effectively. As you can see in this diagram, the first step is system, then identifying the static data, create test plan, extract source data, after that select data entities, then create field mapping, then transfer data to the destination. So the question is why the data output validation is so important. Even after you have completed the data extraction, field mapping or transformation, the true test of the migration success is whether the data looks correct and functionally correctly in the new system or not. So that is why one tip is very much important. I have discussed this point in our early videos as well. That is the early on its project, it is recommended that you select a small amount of test data and run your migration project against it. Once you have mapped and transformed your data, this small sample allow you to validate the field mapping, transformation logic, business rule before extracting a full-scale migration. So this process might need to be repeated for each source system involved in the project to ensure the consistency and accuracy. So in this diagram or in this picture, the first step is the system. So what does it actually mean by the system? The system is actually identify all the source system involved in the migration. This could include the legacy ERP system, CRM platforms, flat files or external database. Start by identifying all the source system involved in the data migration. This could including various platforms or the custom database it can include. Knowing where your data is reside is the first step towards building a successful migration strategy. The second box, as you can see, identify the static data. It talk about the start with the static or reference data like the currency code, tax configuration related data or the payment terms related data. These are the foundational to validating and linking transactional data later. So that is why static data include the reference data that does not frequently change, such as the country code, tax code, payment terms, unit of measures. These are the essential for ensuring that transaction data can be mapped correctly later in the process. After that, the third option is the create test plans. In this step, test planning is a key aspects of the data migration. Define the test cases and validation rule that will help confirm whether the migrated data meets the business requirement or not. Before running any data migration, define the test plans, test scenarios, validation rules, expected outcome. So your test plan acts as your blueprint or quality assurance throughout the process. The next box, as you can see, that is the extract source data. In this step, you have to carefully extract a small sample of the data that mirrors the complexity and volume of your real data. Ensures that it covers the multiple scenarios for more effective testing. Once you are ready, begin extracting data from your source system. This can involve direct database queries, it can involve the API extraction, it can involve flat file exports like CSV, XML or Excel as well. Ensure that data is cleaned and standardized during this stage. After this step, fifth step, you have to select the data entities in the system like Dynamics 365 FNO. Data entities are used to handle the import and export process. Choose the entities that match the business objects you are mapping or migrating. For example, customer related entities are there, vendor related, purchase order related. So these are some entities that you can use. There are numerous numbers of entities available out of box, and if you want to fit one particular business logic, if you want to customize the entity, then also it is possible. So align your source data with these entities. After this step, you have to remember that you have to create the field mapping properly. Map fields between source and destination system. You can watch for the data entity mismatch, formats are consistent or not, that means the data formats, currency codes are they are matching or not, and the data field you are mapping, check the data entities from the Visual Studio itself. Also you can check it from the data entity workspace as well. While field mapping, you have to watch the mandatory fields, all required fields are populated or not, default values are populated correctly or not, business rule alignment you have to also keep in your mind. These tools like Excel templates or data mapping sheet can help organize this process efficiently. After this step, you have to translate data to the destination. After transformation, load the test data into the destination system. This is your trial run. Analyze every details. Are all fields correctly populated or not? You have to go to each and every form, you have to validate, you have to check that fields are correctly populated or not in your new system. Do lookups and references are actually working or not? Are there any data transactions or error is there or not? So here comes into another point, that is the validate the output. This is the core focus of the entire flow. Once the trial data is loaded, cross check totals, counts and references. Validate business functionality. For example, you can create a sales order using the migrated customer or not. Compare the migrated data with source record to ensure 101 accuracy. Document all findings and adjust mapping, transformation logic as needed. Repeat this process until you are confident that the data is reliable or not. So here you have to remember one important point, that performs this output validation step for each and every source system individually. Even small variations in format or field logic between the system can cause major issue if overlooked. So in the summary or in the final thought, I want to say that successful data migration is not just about moving data, it's about moving clean, accurate and usable data. By following a structured data migration path and validating output with test data early on, you can reduce the risk and ensure a smoother transitions. So thank you for watching this video. See you in the next one. If you have any question, you can write it in the comment section. So thank you again. See you in the next one. Till then, take care. Bye bye.